As a Cyber Dragon player, I'm really interested in this. This is probably one of the most iconic duels in the whole anime. To me at least, it has a special place in my heart, so let's watch it together.
Zane Truesdale is one of my favourite characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because he's someone that is always able to keep one-upping his opponent,
one of mine.
no matter what gets thrown at him. So, when you put him up against the main antagonist of the third season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yubel, whom is currently possessing someone who is one of the only two people to ever get Zane hyped in a duel, whilst also keep in mind Zane is suffering from a heart that is rapidly reaching the end of its life.
And well, Zane is dying.
That's when you get to see a duelist put everything on the line and put on the performance of their lifetime.
So if this is the last duel I ever take part in, I can guarantee that whether I win or lose, I'm going to enjoy every last move.
Zane Truesdale.
Okay, just like completely like off topic. It's not completely off topic, but I really like the voice actor in the dub. I watched GX dubbed, and the voice acting for Zane is so good because he honestly sells it. The voice actor sells it because he's so cringe. He's so cringe and edgy, but the character is so cringe and edgy. But the voice actor makes me believe it. The voice actor actually makes me believe it, which is so cool. I really like that.
Would reach the end of his dueling career and life with a 16,000 attack point Cyber End Dragon by his side, going out not because of his opponent, but on his own terms for the effect of one of his signature cards, Power Bond. For today's video, I want to take a really good look at this duel and see if Zane could have actually won this duel, or if his fate was sealed. Let's find this out together and jump into the duel.
The duel. Let's watch it.
The duel begins and Jesse goes first. His opening hand consists of Advanced Dark, Advanced Crystal Beast, Amethyst Cat, M-Force, Gem Burst, Amber Crystal Circle, and Rainbow Path. Jesse starts by playing his Advanced Dark field spell. That's effect makes it so that whenever he would take battle damage, he can send one Crystal Beast from his deck to the grave to make the damage 0. And also, if Rainbow Dragon attacks, the attack target's effects are negated. Jesse ends his turn by summoning Advanced Crystal Beast, Amethyst Cat to the field and setting the quick play spell M-Force face down. It's Zane's turn and he draws. His opening hand consists of 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, Diffusion.
Dude, this is so bad, dude. I love how like Zane like half the duels he starts with 3 Cyber Dragon in his hand. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Cybernetic Hidden Technology, and Attack Reflector Unit. Zane starts by special summoning one of his Cyber Dragons, since Jesse has a monster and he doesn't. Zane thinks to himself that the weakness to the Crystal Beasts is their low attack. So, most likely, Advanced Dark is a card that would make up for that flaw, and thinks, well, someone without a future should have nothing to fear. The implication of this is that Zane isn't going to play cautiously in this duel. He's not going to hold himself back, wait and see what happens. He's just going to go all out attack, because this is his final duel. And he knows it. So
no! It's similar to Kaiba drawing 3 blue eyes plus poly during DSOD. Dark Sides of Dimension? Yes. Yes, I feel like that happens like a lot, and I hate when they do it in the anime. That they just draw the cards that they like exactly like 3 of the same one to fuse it. This happens. Wait, that also happened in the anime, right? Not in the movie. And I feel like Zane has done this like 3 times at least. And it just like breaks my suspension of disbelief. I don't know.
With this in mind, he immediately enters his battle phase and attacks Amethyst Cat. The monster is destroyed, but thanks to its own effect, it goes to the spell and trap zone. Then, due to the field spell, Jesse receives no battle damage, since Cobalt Eagle was sent from the deck to the grave. Zane sets his Attack Reflector Unit face down and ends his turn. Why? Some of you might ask. Didn't he set Cybernetic Hidden Technology face down? Well, because, I don't know, I have no idea why I didn't set it face down. In fact, it's the first big misplay of the duel, and something that may have cost him the duel. But we'll get to that a little bit later. It's Jesse's turn, and he draws.
Okay, but 3 Cyber Dragon Diffusion plus Poly is OTK though. He just needed the Poly. Is it? 3 Cyber Dragon... Yeah, I guess it would be, yes. You're right.
Draws Sapphire Pegasus. He summons it to the field and uses its effect to place Ruby Carbuncle straight from his
4,000
deck
LP.
into the Spell and Trap Zone. Then,
I forgot
thanks to
about that.
Carbuncle's anime effect, whenever Carbuncle is in the Spell and Trap Zone, once per turn it can special summon itself to the field. Jesse does this, which causes Carbuncle's second effect to kick in, which lets it special summon all the crystal beasts in the Spell and Trap Zone when it's special summoned. So, Amethyst Cat returns to the field. Jesse then activates his face down spell, M-Force, which increases the attack of Sapphire Pegasus by 500, making it stronger than Zane's Cyber Dragon. And not only that, but it also makes Sapphire Pegasus capable of inflicting piercing battle damage until the end of the turn. Jesse orders Pegasus to attack, but Zane plays his face down attack reflector unit.
Whatever happened with these cards, right? They are never used competitively as far as I know.
To tribute Cyber Dragon, so we can
The
special summon his
barrier,
Cyber
right?
Barrier Dragon from his
Cyber
deck
Barrier
into
Dragon looks so silly. I love it. I love it. To activate its effect, it needs to be in attack position. And I love that. So dumb. Using to end and diffuse attacks? Yes, I agree.
position. Now, with 2,800 defense points, Yubel chooses not to attack with Pegasus. Instead, he attacks directly with Amethyst Cat, by using its effect to halve its own attack to attack directly. The attack is successful, and Zane receives the first damage of the duel, which takes a heavy toll on Zane's heart, despite only being a small bit of damage. Jesse sets his Rainbow Path face down and ends his turn, and when he does, the effect of M-Force ends. It's Zane's turn, and he draws Polymerization. He switches Cyber Barrier Dragon to attack, and then plays Poly to fuse his two Cyber Dragons in his hand together to make the Cyber Twin Dragon. Zane enters his battle phase and attacks Sapphire Pegasus with Cyber Twin. The attack is successful, but Jesse uses Advanced Dark to make the damage 0 by sending Emerald Tortoise to the grave. Pegasus then uses its effect to go to the Spell and Trap Zone instead. Zane attacks again with Cyber Twin thanks to its effect, this time choosing Amethyst Cat. The attack succeeds again, and again, Jesse uses Advanced Dark to nullify the damage.
What is this?
This time at the cost
like, Zane knows, right? That this means that he's gonna be able to summon Rainbow Dragon, right? He knows this. Is this your first video from TGS anime? No, I watched like 2 before, I think. No, okay. I watched the ones that are about the archetypes. The ones about the archetypes I watch, but I haven't watched the ones about the anime. I think I only watched the one that is Jaden versus Crowler, I think, is the only one that I watched before. So I like the format, because I saw that there's like 50 of these videos. So I was like, let's try watching one of these on stream, because this is... We were talking about this duel last stream. GX has a lot of cards with big old letters. Yes. Yes, there is. Wait, is it? Aside from Hero, there is another one. What was the other one that wasn't Hero? There's a lot of D. There's a lot of D cards. But what was the other one? I feel like there is another one. I don't remember one. He doesn't care. I mean, would you, when you can pull up an AK beat stick just like him? Yes, but he's not receiving damage. He's not receiving damage. So what is the point of you have like a lot of attack if you cannot do anything? Destiny board? Yeah, but that is not from GX.
Amber Mammoth. And of course, Amethyst Cat becomes a continuous spell. Finally, Zane attacks Ruby Carbuncle with his Cyber Barrier Dragon. The attack works, but once again, Jesse uses Advanced Dark to mitigate the damage, this time at the cost of the last crystal beast in his deck, Topaz Tiger. And, like the other crystals, Carbuncle goes to the Spell and Trap Zone. Even after this impressive display, Zane isn't done. He plays his quick play spell, Confusion, to summon back the 2 Cyber Dragons that were used for Cyber Twin. With 2 more attacks available, right? The first Cyber Dragon attacks directly, dealing 2,100 damage. Then, as the second Cyber Dragon attacks, for seemingly
that was the plan.
It is revealed that Jesse played his trap, Rainbow Path, which allowed him to send 1 random crystal beast in his Spell and Trap Zone to the grave to negate the attack, and also add Rainbow Dark Dragon from his deck to his hand. Ruby Carbuncle is the crystal beast chosen, and so goes to the grave. Now, with no more plays left, Zane ends his turn. At this point in the duel, Jesse has 3 cards in his hand: Rainbow Dark Dragon, Gem Burst, and Amber Crystal Circle. Zane, on the other hand, only has one card, which is Cybernetic Hidden Technology, which he still hasn't set. It's back to Jesse, and he draws Counter Gem. Now, since there are 7 different Advanced Crystal Beast monsters on the field and in the graveyard, he has all the prerequisites to summon his ultimate monster, Rainbow Dark Dragon. With this behemoth on the field, Jesse uses it to attack Zane's Cyber Barrier Dragon. However, Zane activates its effect to negate the attack. Unbeknownst to him though, Advanced Dark negates the effects of monsters whom Rainbow Dragon attacks. Barrier Dragon is destroyed, taking with
That's
it
a
all
lot
but
of
200
damage
of Zane's life points. And, oh boy, his heart does not like that. Jesse ends by setting Counter Gem face down. And keep in mind, Rainbow Dark Dragon can't use any of its effects the first turn it's summoned, so that's why he didn't boost its attack and try and go for game then. So yeah, just to let you all know, it couldn't use its effects on the turn it was summoned. Anyway, it's back to Zane and he draws Photon Generator Unit. He activates it at the cost of his 2 Cyber Dragons on the field. Doing so allows him to summon Cyber Laser Dragon from his deck. Zane uses its effect to destroy Rainbow Dark Dragon. However, Jesse uses Rainbow Dragon's ability to keep itself alive by sending Amethyst Cat in the Spell and Trap Zone to the grave. Zane finishes his turn by finally setting Cybernetic Hidden Technology face down. It's Jesse's turn and he draws Rainbow Life. He goes straight into his battle phase and uses Rainbow Dark Dragon to attack Cyber Laser Dragon. However, Zane activates Cybernetic Hidden Technology and tributes Cyber Laser Dragon to destroy Rainbow Dark Dragon and
he has the effect, right?
Of course, Jesse uses Rainbow Dark's effect
itself
to keep itself alive, this time sending Sapphire Pegasus. Jesse then sets Rainbow Life and ends his turn. Now this is something that I brought up at the start of the duel, but Cybernetic Hidden Technology. What would have happened in this duel if Zane...
Wait, what is this? When an opponent monster declares an attack, you can send one Cyber Machine monster you control to the graveyard to destroy the attacking monster. Then end the battle phase. You can send this card and one Cyber Machine monster from your hand to the graveyard to destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls. Okay. Yeah, there is no reason to not set this before, right?
Had set that card on the first turn. Because keep in mind, it is a continuous trap card. He could have been using this throughout the entire duel whenever he wanted to protect himself. Of course, it costs a cyber monster to use, but that's better than getting attacked into, right? Hypothetically, had Zane set Cybernetic Hidden Technology on the first turn, then realistically, he still wouldn't have activated it until Rainbow Dark Dragon attacks Cyber Barrier Dragon. As honestly, he had outs for all the other situations without needing to use this card. However, had he used it then, he wouldn't have taken 3,800 damage. Instead, Cyber Barrier Dragon would have still died to power to the grave, and Rainbow Dark Dragon would have lost one of its 2 crystal protections. Then, next turn, Cyber Laser Dragon would have used its ability to take the last crystal protection, meaning when you fast forward to this turn, when Cyber Laser Dragon got attacked, Zane could have activated Cybernetic Hidden Technology again. However, the big difference here is that Rainbow Dark Dragon would be out of crystals for its protection, so it would have been destroyed. And if you say, knowing this, Jesse wouldn't have attacked, well, he would have had to, because if he doesn't destroy Cyber Laser Dragon, next turn, Cyber Laser Dragon will use its ability to destroy it. So he has to attack into it for itself to be destroyed and to get rid of Cyber Laser. So
it would have been a completely different duel like that. Just to tell you, I actually used the series as a way for me to script duels. Oh. Hello, King John. Scripting duels seems like such a cool skill because it requires to know, to actually know the game and also know script writing. I know she's dumb, right? The scripting duels, you need to know duels and a script. But it's such different things, right? To make it actually interesting and fun, you need to know the characters and the archetypes and how to actually make it entertaining. More than writing a duel, you need to make it entertaining, but also make sense and for the actual players. I mean, when you're working on a Yu-Gi-Oh fan series, you need a script. But since we already have this one, I might as well grab one of my favorite duel analysts. analysis. Yeah. I support you, King John. Yeah. Let's keep watching.
This seems better, right? Zane
Wait,
made
we're not even half the video. I don't remember this duel being... I mean, I remember the duel being like long. I feel like I remember the duel more about the aesthetic, because everything is like purple during it. It's such a cool like scenario for this duel. This is the only duel that is there, right? It's so iconic. You instantly see... When you see one of these scenes, you instantly know that it's from that one duel. Like, even if you don't see the other one. A friend of mine is writing a GX thematic fanfic, and I go to write character for it. Oh, nice. A fanfic with duels? That's crazy.
a misplay at the start. Well, we're not considering one thing, and that's Jesse's face down. Counter Gem. Unfortunately, with this card, when Zane tries to get rid of Rainbow Dark Dragon, Jesse can just activate this to replenish his defenses, giving Rainbow Dark Dragon 5 extra lives. However, there are some benefits to this. Fast forwarding to the end of the duel, there would only be 4 crystals left in Jesse's back row. So, in the final attack, when Rainbow Dark Dragon's effect is boosted, it would only go up to 8,000, meaning the power-bonded Cyber End Dragon with 8,000 attack would crash into it. Which would ultimately end with Rainbow Dark Dragon being defeated by Zane, but also Cyber End Dragon. And then Zane would still have taken the 4,000 damage and died.
It kinda seems like Zane never had a chance. That's so weird. That is so weird because it looked pretty even to me. I don't know. King John, I'm gonna call you John. John, we have a Discord here where you can submit your suggestions for reactions. Yes. So that's to have it like organized, because otherwise I will lose the messages in there. But thank you, I appreciate it. We have a problem of it not being purified but destroyed. Remember, Jaden had to use Rainbow Neos to purify it. That is true. That is true. That is something like outside the actual like game itself, right? It's about friendship and stuff. It's about the magic thing. Yeah.
And that's where this hypothetical unfortunately ends. It would have changed the ending ever so slightly, but Zane would have still lost. So cybernetic hidden technology, unfortunately, you were not Zane's win condition. Unlucky. Getting back to the duel, and it's Zane's turn. And he has absolutely nothing, which Yubel reminds him of.
No monsters, no spells or traps, no defense. Even your hand is empty.
Anyway, he destiny draws and gets Cyber Valley, which he summons to the field. He activates its second effect that allows it to remove both itself and one other card the duelist owns from play to draw 2 new cards, which are Overload Fusion and Dimension Explosion. Zane immediately activates Overload Fusion, which in the anime lets him banish monsters from his grave to summon any machine type fusion.
Like 2 Overload
Fusion.
Fusions
Here. Cyber End Dragon or Chimera Tech Over Dragon. If he summons either one of
you
these...
cannot summon Cyber End Dragon because he has to be Dark type, right? It's different, right? The effect is different, right? Hold on.
And Dimension Explosion. Zane immediately activates Overload Fusion, which in the anime lets him banish monsters...
Okay. It's different in the anime. Okay, cool.
...from his grave to summon any machine type fusion. He has 2 options here. Cyber End Dragon or Chimera Tech Over Dragon. If he summons either one of these, he's going to have a monster with 4,000 attack, which unfortunately is not enough to defeat Rainbow Dark Dragon. So he chooses a third option, a new monster. Chimera Tech Fortress
Wait, this
Dragon.
is the only
He
time that we
banishes
see
his 3
Chimera Tech
Cyber
Fortress?
Dragons and Cyber Laser and Cyber Barrier to summon it. Now I'm going to warn you all, Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon's effect
was the third
differs
option.
heavily in the anime. Basically, it has
This
0
is a
attack.
different card. This is a different card in the anime than in the actual game. Drawing the required card in a tight situation in the anime series is fun enough considered as a skill from the characters. Yeah. I find that so funny because it was like, oh my god, this guy got so lucky, right? Screw this guy. But in the anime, it's like, he did it. He drew the right card. He's so cool. Yeah, because in the TCG it's a contact fusion. Yes.
Its effect is, when it's summoned, you have to send all other cards you control to the grave. If Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon attacks, damage calculation is not applied. Instead, Each time this card attacks,
can
inflict
attack multiple
400
times
damage
too.
to your opponent. Plus, this monster can attack your opponent's monsters once for each fusion material monster used for its summon. Since Zane used
It's a
5
completely different
monsters,
card.
it has 5 attacks. Zane uses Chimera Tech to attack Rainbow Dragon 4 times successfully, reducing Jesse's life points all the way down to 300. Then, as Zane attacks with what would be the final attack of the duel, Jesse plays his face down Rainbow Life, which lets him negate all effect damage he took prior to its activation, and then increases life points by the damage he took. However, Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon's final attack is still successful. Zane is forced to end his turn by setting Dimension Explosion face down. It's Jesse's turn and he draws something.
Something. To be honest with you, he ran DNA surgery. You have turned Jesse's Rainbow Dragon into a machine and then use it as a fusion material. He doesn't use Clockwork Knight, right? Clockwork Knight would have been funny. Yeah, that is the funniest part for me about the Cyber Dragon deck that I play. And this doesn't happen in the anime now that I think about it. That is so interesting.
This card is never shown, nor does he use it, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because most likely it wasn't playable. But if you want to put a name on it, let's just say it's Crystal
Yes,
Release.
Overlord Fusion can use cards
Jesse
on the
chooses
field.
to go
I'm pretty
straight
sure,
into
yes.
his battle phase. He attacks Fortress Dragon, attempting to go for game. However, Zane plays Dimension Explosion that lets him return Chimera Tech back into the extra deck in order for both players to summon as many of their removed from play monsters back to the field.
What?
Zane resummons his Cyber Valet and his 3 Cyber Dragons. Unfortunately, Laser and Barrier can't be summoned due to their summoning restrictions. And since Jesse had no banished monsters, he is unable to summon anything. Which, if we're getting technical, in the real world, you wouldn't be able to make this play. Since Jesse had no targets for the effect of this card, Zane couldn't technically use it. Jesse would have to have had at least 1 card. However, it's the anime, we'll let it slide.
Yeah. I was bringing it up because I have especially used Chimera Fortress Dragon on opponent that run machine monster before, so I know it's possible. No, I'm Cyber Dragon is my main deck. Like actually, like last week I played like 6 hours of Cyber Dragon, and I did that multiple times. So I know. Don't worry, I know. I am familiar with the deck. If I recall correctly, the only card that will do it is Super Poly, even in the anime. We just saw Fortress is not a contact fusion in there. Yeah, exactly. And well, they don't establish that. You're into suggestion from your reaction channel? Yes. Yeah, and what was I going to say? Oh yeah, and Super Polymerization is like a card that only Jaden uses, right? In the anime, no one else does, unless you consider the Supreme King a different character. But yeah, so I don't think anyone else could have a card like that. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. But yeah, I'm trying to I feel like I already reacted to all of those. So if there is new ones, I'm gonna react to those. Oh yeah, there is new ones there. Okay, I'm gonna check that after this.
Replay occurs and Rainbow Dragon attempts to attack, but Cyber Valley removes itself from play to activate its first effect, to end the battle phase and allow Zane to draw 1 card. The card drawn is Cybernetic Zone. We'll talk about that card a bit later. With no further plays, Jesse ends his turn, and we move on to the final turn of the duel. Zane draws, and he lets out a little smile as we see what it is.
Oh my god, it's Power Bond! Wait, hold on. I love
Zane
that.
draws, and he lets out
smile.
a little smile as we see
the little smile. Oh my god. Only Jaden and Yubel have it. No, I think Yubel stole it from Jaden during the match. He didn't have it in their deck. The new one I sent is actually a new one. Oh, the one I sent is actually a new one. It was the first one released at the beginning of the month. Okay, don't worry, we'll watch it. Cybernetic Zone is a card I don't run, me neither. Yeah, Pepper summoned like 15 fortresses just last week's session. Yeah. I put in a video of mine featuring you. Oh, interesting. Thank you so much, Kat. We will watch it then in a bit. To be honest, if I had the life points, the better card would have been Cybernetic Fusion Support. Cybernetic Fusion Support? Wait, which one? I don't remember.
See what it is. Power Bond. He
Power
activates
Bond.
it straight away, fusing his 3 Cyber Dragons together on the field to make Cyber End Dragon, which, through the effect of Power Bond,
8,000.
doubles the fusion monster's attack. Zane attempts to attack Rainbow Dragon for game, but Jesse uses his trap, Counter Gem, which lets him send all cards in his Spell and Trap card zone to the grave, then place as many Crystal Beasts in the grave in the Spell and Trap card zone as possible. Now keep in mind, to use this card you have to send all Spell and Traps you have to the grave to use it. So to use this card you have to have at least one spell or trap on the field to use it, which at first glance Jesse doesn't have, so he technically can't use this card.
But isn't it the
But
field
hang
spell?
on, we're forgetting about the field spell.
Yeah,
and
field
apparently
spell,
so did the animators. Technically, the field spell should have gone to the grave here. It doesn't make a difference at the end of the day. Jesse doesn't need to protect his Crystal Beast anymore, so he doesn't need it for that. He doesn't need to have his monsters treated as advanced Crystal Beasts either, so that's not a big deal either. And he'll never need to negate the effects of a monster he attacks anymore, so it doesn't matter. It's just, you can see in the background the field spell is still there. But technically, from this point on, assume the field spell has gone to the grave, okay? Okay, now with 5 Crystal Beasts in his Spell and Trap zone, he uses the ultimate effect of Rainbow Dark Dragon, which allows him to send all Crystal Beasts in his Spell and Trap zone to the grave to increase the attack of Rainbow Dragon by 1,000 for each. Since there were 5, Rainbow Dragon's
9,000,
attack
right?
increases to 9,000.
Oh my
Here,
God.
Zane's heart begins to truly fail, but not before activating Cybernetic Zone, which removes
so
his
what the
Cyber End
Cybernetic
from
Zone
play,
does
stopping
exactly
its
in the
attack
anime?
before it could be destroyed by the 9,000 attack point Rainbow Dragon.
Uh-huh.
As Zane's end phase occurs, Cyber End Dragon returns. However, this time its attack has been doubled again, now with an incredible 16,000. However, unfortunately, that's not all.
I still must pay for playing my Power Bond. Cyber End Dragon's original attack points now return to me as damage. And it's a lot more than this old heart of mine can handle.
The final
I love this. I love how like Powerbomb has been like so important for his story and also Cyto's story, and how he's always talking about how you need to know how to use it, right? You cannot risk it because you can lose the game for using Powerbomb in the wrong time, in the wrong moment, right? Because if your opponent has a trap card or whatever, you cannot do that. Which I guess he had no other choice here, so he had to do it. But I still find it like really, really cool that that's how he like ultimately loses. Yeah. Removes it from play, and then after the battle phase returns with attack doubled. Yes, so he had to remove it, otherwise he will have lose the duel there. But he still loses at the end. It's so sad that like no matter what, he was always like going to lose. I guess TGS anime is gonna explain how he could have survived this or won maybe, but I don't see it. To be honest, I don't know the Rush anime that well, but I know the Power Bond is used in Go Rush, and I really hope it does the same significance as it does have here. It is used in the Rush anime? Wow, interesting. I didn't know that. I'm really curious about that now. I don't think it's gonna have the same significance, but it would be cool if it does.
effect of Power Bond kicks in, inflicting 4,000 damage to Zane and ending the duel with his defeat by his own hands. Rest in peace, Zane. You gave one hell of a duel, and you're an inspiration to us all to try harder, to shine in battle. It's just such a shame you can't come back from a heart attack. Yeah, he comes back to life in the next season.
He comes back to life.
There's a
yes.
next season, by the way. Spoilers if you didn't know.
Hey, Cyrus, I'm proud of you, and I always will be.
Oh, Zane!
So what is there to say about this duel?
He had limited
Well, in all
removal, Jesse
honesty,
will have. Yeah,
both
yeah,
duelists
but he didn't.
actually put on the performance of their lifetime. They both dueled the best possible plays that the cards that they had could have given them. Basically, Jesse Yubel's goal was to fill up the graveyard and the field with as many Crystal Beast monsters as they could, which the field spell helped do. He knew what his end goal was. Get all those cards in the graveyard as fast as possible, get Rainbow Dark Dragon in hand, summon it to the field, and then just keep slamming into Zane until he was dead. Although if I had to have one or two criticisms of Jesse's deck, one would be the fact that he only plays 8 monsters. He plays the 7 Crystal Beasts, 1 of each, and then 1 Rainbow Dark Dragon. I understand why this happens in anime. You can't have multiples of any cards most of the time because I guess they only made 1 of them. With the Crystal Beast, it's special as well, so it's only fair. But 8 monsters in a 40-card deck, that's ridiculous. But that was my only real complaint with Jesse Yubel in this duel.
I don't see the issue
For Zane,
with that.
I actually do think he played the best possible duel that he could. The only mistakes really was the cybernetic hidden technology. Probably could have played that at the start of the duel.
I don't think you can search the limited removal with the new Cyber
He still would have lost the duel. But
I don't know if it's going to be
in a
used
much better
though.
Position more often. He wouldn't have took as much heart attack damage, if you will. So that might have helped. And there was one other thing that I felt was a misplay off Zane. It was one card.
One more thing?
Cybernetic Zone. Don't get me wrong, it makes a cool moment. The monster disappears, then comes back mysteriously with 16,000 attack. That's pretty cool. But if you read the card, it's trash. Its effect is you banish 1 machine fusion monster until the end phase. When that monster is returned to the field, double its attack. Then, during your next standby phase...
During your next standby phase, destroy it? What? So it's a defensive thing then. Because the next standby phase, you're not gonna be able to attack with it. It's just to have like a big monster. You have to swing your big monster in there just so the opponent cannot like attack you. But they can still destroy it. And for what, right? It's not gonna do anything. Interesting.
Destroy it. The only way this card is good is for a 1-turn defensive move.
Yeah, it's a defensive
You have your Cyber
move.
End Dragon on the field, your opponent activates Magic Cylinder, Mirror Force, I don't care what. You get rid of your monster, then the turn ends, and then during your opponent's turn, you have an 8,000 attack point monster that keeps you alive that turn. However, the big problem is, as soon as that turn ends, it's destroyed during your standby phase. What this also means is it's absolutely useless to use on your opponent's turn. Your opponent activates Regeki, you get rid of your monster with this card, it comes back during the end phase, literally 2 seconds later during the standby phase, it blows up, unless you have some really crazy way of keeping it alive. But then I'm guessing you're going to say, well, just don't use it during your opponent's turn. Well, then this card is useless half of the time. It's just not good. It just should not have been in Zane's deck. Oh, and on top of that, I hate to have to do this, but Cyber End Dragon wouldn't come back with 16,000 attack points, unfortunately. But you see, when it has the 8,000 attack with Power Bond, it gets taken off the field, it loses that extra 4,000. So it'll come back with 4,000 and then get doubled again.
But it's so hype though.
This is what reality looks like. I know it's boring, it's not very fun, but unfortunately, that is what really would happen. So the point I'm getting at is this card should have been something else. Like, imagine instead that Zane drew Limiter Removal instead. Well, that would have done the exact same thing, except, you know, won Zane the duel. But that's just a hypothetical. Limiter Removal was probably in Zane's deck, he just didn't get it. And at the end of the day, Jesse Yubel was...
That's so funny. According to the rules of the anime, like the power level, power scaling or whatever, if Zane would have been a better player, he would have drawn Limited Removal and he would have won. But since he's not that good of a player, he just drew a bad card. That's so sad.
The definitive winner of this duel, as the card Zane was given ultimately ended in his defeat. And that's okay, because the point of this duel was never really to win. It was for Zane to shine one final time before his ultimate end, and to show Jaden it's not all about winning. Plus, cool points, Yubel was physically shaken after the duel.
What?
And yeah, with that was a duel analysis of Zane Truesdale versus Jesse Anderson, who is possessed by Yubel. Hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Bye everyone.
That was a really good video.
Zane Truesdale.
That was a really good video. I really like it. I really like it. Wait. I need like a All right, I really like the video. It's so cool. I'm gonna like, subscribe. I'm gonna do the whole thing. Yes. Do I even? No, I actually no. But yeah, that was a really cool video. I want to watch more of these videos. Like I really like it. Really makes you think about a lot of things, about just the decision making of the characters, but also how it's like written for the anime, like how to make it like actually entertaining. I'm so hype. I like that. I love that. I love that. I want to see more of this. So we're probably gonna watch one more today at least. So let's go with that. Yeah.